Hello and welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed Monday's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. Now it's time for Tuesday. And, if you're listening to these on demand, it doesn't really matter what day it is or where you are. The only thing that's important is that you've made the very thoughtful and wise decision to be a part of the Student of the Gun audience. So congratulations. Now, just in case, I know you guys out there, you dedicated hardcore people are like, dude, we know who you are. We know where you're at. You don't need to remind us. Yes, but be patient. Be patient with your fellow Americans, your fellow Earthicans, because there are people all over the earth listening to us right now.
Earthicans?
Yes, fellow Earthicans.
Oh, okay.
You know where the reference is from, right?
Do you want them to beam you up?
Do you know that reference?
No.
It's Futurama.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Anywho, I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, and I am inside of the glass case of Emotion Studios, which is located at Student of the Gun University on the glorious Biloxi Gulf Coast. And if you decide to come by, when you enter cautiously. You will be greeted by armed security, but fear not, our armed security is gentle, unless there's some reason why you wouldn't need to be treated gently, but we assume that most of you would need to be treated gently. You'll be greeted by our armed security and then ushered in, and we can say hello, and you can come train with us or do whatever it is you want to do. Well, not anything you want to do, but we have a full-service training facility here on the Gulf Coast, and we're happy to accept all newcomers. Are we not, Jared?
We are happy to.
Are you stretching it out there?
You caught me in the middle of the stretch.
Stretching it out there. That is Jared. He is the producer and the studio engineer, and he does all the magical stuff with the 1, 2, 3, 4. You only have 4 monitors in there, which includes the show
phone
clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we are. We hope that, like I said, you enjoyed the Monday episode. And as you know, most of the time we get the Monday episode up, ready, in the can before Monday morning, obviously. We don't come in, believe it or not, we don't come into the studio at 4 a.m. to record. You're like, what? How lazy are you? But we had a productive weekend. I had a productive weekend. I'm sure Jared did as well. Now, thank the Lord. I've told you guys before, and I'll tell you again, if you Yankees who live up north, you survive the winter and you're rewarded with spring, it's the exact opposite down here. We survive the summer and we're rewarded with the fall. And even though it's still technically on the calendar summertime, the mercury has dropped. It was so cool and pleasant, and the humidity blew away, and it only got up to the mid-70s on Sunday and Monday too. But, oh, man. Went outside. Zach the shipping ogre, and I went outside, and we spent somewhere from 6, 7, not quite 8 hours outdoors, catching up on lawn maintenance and all that good stuff. It rains so much down here that it rains, then it gets hot, and it rains, it gets hot, it rains, it gets hot. And as you can imagine, the jungle grows very, very quickly. So, well,
our jungle was pretty high.
Your jungle was pretty high.
We got both the lawnmowers actually were broken, so finally got them back, and then it rained.
You have 2 working now, or 1 working?
Well, I have 1 working, and the other one is done. I just have to pick it up.
You want to hear something really funny? We had, and this isn't funny, but they had, the broken lawnmower, the one that stopped working, and we took it to the lawnmower repairman 3 times, and they put a Band-Aid on it, and it would work, and then the one that your mother used to chip wood.
Yeah.
Yes, my wife is not allowed to mow the lawn anymore because my wife doesn't pick up sticks that fall out of the trees. She just runs them over. How many of you have a wife that does that?
Not just sticks, but logs.
Yeah,
it's oh, this is a stump removal tool. Let me just put the lawnmower on there.
Honey, it's a lawnmower. Yeah, it's not a stump grinder. She'd be out there mowing, What are you doing? The grass was real high. I didn't see the sticks. Oh, the grass was real high. You didn't see the sticks. Honey, you need to stop doing that. Anyway, so we had that one lawnmower that was sitting in the corner over there, and I'm not taking it to the lawnmower repairman again, for the 3rd time. Mm-hmm. It was a $100 lawnmower, and I probably got $150 into lawn maintenance or into repairs in that thing. It's like, okay, I'm done. The cool thing about living in the South and or in a slightly redneckish area is if you put an object that looks even slightly attractive or usable by the road, it's gone. So yesterday I decided to do an experiment. Around 2:30, yesterday, Sunday. But anyway, pushed the lawnmower down the hill, down to the edge of the highway there at 2:30, and we waited. We checked on it at 3:30. It was still there. We left to come to the studio to do a couple of things real quick, and at 6 o'clock it was gone.
That's funny.
Someone had driven by, and it's like, and you know the thought process. A couple dudes in a pickup truck, you know, like, hey, that looks like a lawnmower. I know I can fix that. Heck, the engine itself is worth $1. And it's you don't even have to wait for the trash man to come. You just put it down. We had a treadmill. Remember that treadmill that like?
Oh yeah,
the death mill. It was a treadmill that all of a sudden the belt would just start skipping.
It was a well-used treadmill.
Yeah, you're running along, and all of a sudden it would skip. You go, ah!
It tests your reflexes. It was a reflex builder. That's what it was.
So, yeah, I'd had it for 3 or 4 years, and I put, thousands of miles on it. So we wheeled that sucker down. We wheeled it down, put it and it wasn't 2 hours, and that was gone. And that was a while ago. But, yeah, we put it down there thinking that because we have a bulk pickup once a week. They've had the big monster truck with the claw. You can put anything out. You can put sofas, mattresses, you name
cars.
It. Well, I don't know about cars, but anything up to a car pretty much. And the bulk truck will take it away.
I bet if you rolled a car down there, somebody would pick it up.
And just left it? No. Yeah. You know what happened? The trooper would drive by and they'd put a ticket on it and they'd say, this must be towed.
Just put free, just have to take
pull the plates off of it, strip the VIN numbers. I don't think
You don't have that kind of time?
Yeah, I don't have that kind of time. But anyway, so I thought that was kind of funny. That was kind of hilarious. We were like, all right, Zach, how long is it going to take? Oh! Hey, yell at Zach and ask him if the chair was there this morning.
Zach, was the chair there this morning?
What?
Was the chair there this morning?
Oh, I didn't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, it was gone. Yeah, you know that one shop chair that's missing a wheel?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the shop chair that's been sitting there on the porch missing a one wheel. It's one of those gray, workshop chairs. And it's been sitting there. It's missing a caster. And it keeps falling over. I'm like, this damn thing is just collecting. It's a catch-all for people to throw their garbage on. So I carried that sucker down there, too.
I feel like you're just trying to find stuff to put down there now.
No. And, the mower went, and they left the chair. And I was like, man, we should have put a sign on there that says, if you take the mower, you have to take the chair, too. But I forgot about it. Last night, came home. Went to bed, do our thing. We left this morning, and I didn't realize it until just now. The chair was gone, too. So, and no, you cannot come down here and put your trash out by my curb. So. How does that compare to where you folks live? How many of you live in an area where like, man, the city would charge me $100 for a dumping fee? It's like, yeah, it's because you live in a slave state. So, congratulations. What else did we do? I don't know. Did you plant stuff or harvest stuff?
No, I just did
mowed stuff.
Yeah, I mowed, and that was pretty much it. That was it. Alex had Rosh Hashanah last night, so they cooked their little dinner stuff.
I don't listen to.
It was delicious.
Hip-hop. I don't listen to hip hop. Did you sacrifice a calf?
Into my mouth, yes.
Oh, okay. You didn't build like an altar of stone.
Nope.
None of that stuff. Burnt offering. Oh, did I even talk about target maintenance yet? No, I talked about lawnmowers and stuff.
Did you lose a target in the lawn because it was green?
No. But that's one thing I did do. I went out to the Target shed, and the Target shed, it's like every shed, every garage, every whatever. It becomes the catch-all. You're like, where are we going to do this? Go stick it out in the shed. We'll figure out something later. Well, that's what the Target shed had become. It became just put it in the shed. Well, I got into the shed and found a lot of things that had, because of the high humidity and the weather, gotten nasty and rusty and rotten and so forth. And we burned a ton of garbage and all those freaking cardboard shipping boxes. You're welcome. The box that the new office chair came in.
Oh, you burned them?
Yeah, all that nonsense. They're not sitting over there in the corner anymore.
I didn't notice.
Ah, there you go.
Maybe somebody came by and got them.
That's right. The box fairy came and picked them up and took them home. But I pulled out all the steel targets, and I had a couple of cans of spray paint. They were like half open, so I started painting them. I actually had to go to the not Office Depot, went to the Evil Empire and bought some more spray paint. But yes, I got the hanging, swinging rifle targets. I got the pop-up targets, the pistol targets. I drug all that crap out into the lawn and painted it all because
it was sunny and a nice day.
It was a sunny, nice day, and crap rusts down here fast. This is the time to do it. Yes, and to your questions, no, I did not waste Duracoat money. It's like a target that's going to be shot up and the paint's going to chip from the bullets, and then you're going to have to. If you're like, I'll put Duracoat on it,
or something.
Like, no, just whatever.
If Duracoat will stop bullets from chipping it, then
Duracoat's really good stuff, but I don't think it's going to stop the impact of rifle bullets. I'm just saying. You're like, oh well, I'm not going to buy it then. If it was going to stop the impact of rifle and handgun,
the whole point
bullets,
of getting the Duracoat is to stop bullets from entering your body, right?
That's right. So now we had a good time. Got all that stuff painted and put away. That's the trick is when you drag out, 2,000 pounds of steel, and it's probably maybe not 2,000, but it's probably 1,000 pounds because we got
a lot.
When you drag out all that steel, and you're like, oh man, I got to pick all this crap up and put it back in now. And it's kind of cool when you do stuff like that. You're like, oh crap, I forgot I had that one. I forgot I had that target. I forgot I had that one there.
Do you still have those wood targets?
The ones that you use the
$5.
Oh yeah. The basis.
We need to do that. You need to do an article on the blog. How to make a target stand for $5.
Dude, remember when I did the YouTube video?
Yeah,
I had your
that's
sister
what I'm saying.
video.
I could drop that video in there.
I had her do it with her iPod.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 years ago. And you know what people did? YouTube idiots.
Huh.
I did it. All right. I came up with I needed a quick impromptu way to build a target stand. And I set my budget at $5, right? $5 per target stand.
Yeah.
So I went to Home Depot. No, I don't go to Home Depot because they're scum. I went to Lowe's. And I bought some 2x4s and what have you, and I factored it out, and I figured that I could make like a half a dozen for $5 a piece. So okay, cool. We put that up there, and immediately people start piling in about, if you use PVC, it would be better, or why don't you just go online and buy from Targets to Go and buy a steel base to put your 2x. I was like, dude, it really. It blows me away. Rather than, and it was like a step-by-step thing, like how to, build a target stand for $5. And like the first 4 or 5 comments were all about how I should have done it better, or you could do it better, or if PVC is weatherproof, and you're just like,
you missed the point.
I know. It's like, you know what? It makes me wonder, why do I bother to do this
Those
crap?
people probably weren't building target stands anyway, so.
And remember the whole reason I did that, the impetus for that? Because we went to that public range.
Yeah.
And there was people, their targets were milk jugs.
Yeah.
They're like, they had $500 worth of ammunition on the table, and their targets were milk jugs.
They chuck out there on the ground.
Let me throw this milk jug out about 20 yards and blast away. Yeah, there's some hardcore training for you. Spent $500 on ammo and shoot a milk jug.
Yay.
Not that milk jugs don't need to be shot occasionally, but there's a better way. Anywho, so that was our weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and let's go ahead and get into it. Are you ready? I'm going to sip my coffee, then I'll be ready.
Are you ready? Did you talk about your reading already?
I
was thinking, I didn't really get a chance to read this weekend.
I actually sat down and I haven't finished the book yet because it is a long book, but the Don't Tread on Me. I sat down. The one of the things I like to do is sneak out early in the morning with a cup of coffee when it's cool, And of course, it's cool now, but and read a chapter or two of "Don't Tread on Me."
Yeah.
You guys, folks, buy this book. It's called "Don't Tread on Me" by H.W. Crocker III. It's on Amazon. Buy it. Be done with it. Read it. Your mind is going to be blown. And by Dave's Way. I didn't mean for this to be like 15 minutes worth of just talking, but it is my show. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you guys out there in the audience are budding entrepreneurs? Or you want to own a business, or you're starting a business, or you have a business, or whatever? How many? A lot of you. I know a lot of you are. I know a lot of you have current jobs, and you have side projects that you want to turn into a job, or want to turn into a career, or turn into a whatever. All right, here's the deal. One helpful hint or one piece of literature that I think you will enjoy, or you should enjoy, is a book called Dave's Way by Dave Thomas. And I know a lot of you young crumb crunchers don't really remember Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's. Or if you do, you think, oh, that was just the guy from the Wendy's commercials. No, Dave Thomas was the founder, CEO, and the genius behind not only Wendy's, but he was the genius behind another fast food restaurant that you probably are not aware of. I was introduced to Dave's Way because the lovely Miss Nancy became a Wendy's restaurant manager, 15 years ago? How long, Jared? A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Anyway, a long time ago, she took over the local Wendy's restaurant in the city that we lived in. She became the manager. And one of the things that Wendy's corporate does is they had Dave's books, and when you became a manager, they gave you one. They gave you a copy of the book, and they're like, hey, you should read this. And it wasn't a mandatory thing, but it kind of was. It's like you're expected to know. Dave had a lot of good things to say about franchise business, about taking the did you know that, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, so read the book. But Dave had a lot of good things to say about starting a small business, growing a small business into a huge business, and what it takes to have a successful business. So do yourself a favor. It's not a long read. It's probably less than 200 pages. And I went on Amazon and I looked at these because I just recommended that someone else to someone else. Did you find your copy that I gave you?
It's in my bookshelf at home.
It's on your bookshelf?
Yeah.
Okay. How much dust is on it?
A lot.
Okay. Well, dust it off.
Yeah, I need to dust it off.
And,
I've got like 10
give it
other
to
books.
somebody that you know that wants to start a new business.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Anyway, long story short, I went to Amazon, I typed in Dave's Way, and you could find the book. They were available for like 99 cents plus shipping, plus like $3.99 shipping or something like that. So essentially for $4 or $5 you can get the book. Get it, do it, read it, and move on with your life. All right, Velocity Triggers. You like triggers? I like triggers. Velocity Triggers. You got a black rifle, they've got a trigger for you. Check those guys out at velocitytriggers.com. Crossbreed Holsters. Now, we talked about this yesterday, and we're going to talk about it once again. I know that I often tell you guys, would you please go to our sponsors' websites and thank them. Let them know that you're paying attention. Let them know that you appreciate the fact that they are behind us and what we do. This week, I want you guys to take a moment to go over to Crossbreed Holsters Facebook page or social media page or whatever and thank them. Hey, thank you for sponsoring Student of the Gun. We appreciate it. Check those guys out at crossbreedholsters.com or their Facebook page, Crossbreed Holsters. SWAT Fuel, special weapons and tactics for the body. SWAT Fuel promo code SOTG2015. You use that when you check out, and you're going to save yourself 10% off your total order.
10% off your total order? What's better than that for the SWAT Fuel? And you guys,
20% would be.
Yeah, well, you could do that, but you have to be part of the grad program.
Oh, there you go again, trying to force people to do what you want them to do.
Oh, no.
That's what you are all about. You're all about forcing people to bend to your will.
We should create a law that you have to be a grad program member.
Yeah. Yesterday, we hit on the Is Your City on the list of 190 cities. And we put that in the show notes. We told you guys you should go look at it. What we're going to do here on our social media, we're going to share that. But I wanted to, and Jared reminded me, he goes, Dad, he said, we talked about that yesterday. I said, yeah, I know, and we're going to talk about it more because it's important. Why is it so daggum important? This is not a joke. We're not playing a game. We're talking about the very survival of our nation. Your nation cannot survive without certain structure, a certain structure, a certain order. And Michael Savage said it perfectly when he said, borders, language, culture. You have to protect your borders. You have to protect your language. You have to protect your culture. If you do not do that, you will lose your nation. Your nation will cease to exist. It will just be this hodgepodge freaking Star Wars cantina scene thing where there's nothing but anarchy. And here's what I want to tell you guys to do. Number one, you can go to www.house.gov, and I'm pretty sure there's an identical one, and I know it is, www.senate.at, not Sinatra.gov.
Sinatra.
Yeah, if you go to senate.gov or house.gov, and then you click on there, like for instance, if you go to senate.gov, you click on senators. Click, and then it says in alphabetical order. Now, this is the trick. Or you can go choose by state. Choose by state. Choose by state, and when you do that, let me see. Let's see, who do we have here? Mr. Thad Cochran, you scumbag, and Roger Wicker. So you click on Roger Wicker's thing, and it has his public site, and it has how to contact him. That is the important part. You go to house.gov. Super simple. You can do this on your phone. Click on the Representatives tab, or you can do it on your laptop or wherever you happen to be. You click on the Representatives tab, and that will bring up a state-by-state, alphabetical order by state. Or you can choose by last name, but the default is by state. And you don't even have to do an additional click. Just scroll down, find your congressman, like I just found mine. Mine right here is Stephen Palazzo. And it has the direct number, the Washington, D.C. number for Stephen Palazzo. And you call them. And if you click on his name, that takes you directly to his individual page, and then it will have a contact tab. So you can send them an email. So you can call and or email and or do both. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. They're talking about transplanting. When they say, remember this, when your government tells you we're going to do X number, for instance, they say, well, this new law, this new bill is going to only cost $1.5 million. Beware. Because when they say that, yeah, the initial one that you see right here will be $1.5 million. And then you go back in, you look at that same program 5 years later, and you're like, hey, that 1.5 became 10. How did that happen? When they say we're going to bring in 100,000 Syrian refugees, do you think they're going to cap it at 100,000? 50,000? 150? 200? And we're going to spread them out all over the United States of America. Now, we already talked about the fact that the Syrians have been our enemies since I can remember. The Syrians, these are the same people that were dancing in the streets on 9/11/2001. They repeated their dance every single time a terror incident against the United States or the West occurred. They were dancing in the streets. They were celebrating when was it the Muslim Brotherhood, the freedom fighters in Libya, when they attacked our consulate and killed our ambassador and drug his body out in the street and mutilated it? Remember that? Yeah, they were dancing in the streets then. But all of a sudden, the people that hate the great Satan, that hate America, that are dancing in the streets every time a terrorist attack is perpetrated against the United States or Europe, those people, we have to embrace them and bring them into our country. No questions asked. Just bring them on in. Because magically somehow when we deposit them in Alabama or Mississippi or Massachusetts or wherever, they're going to all of a sudden love America? Really? Become part of the culture? Become productive citizens? Or are they? Now, now I don't expect your congressmen, congressmen and senators are politicians, which means they're mostly cowards, which means they're appeasers, which means they have to go around and kiss people's butts in order to get voted, and they have to give you half answers and what have you. But here's what I'm going to ask. I want you to ask them. You don't even have to mention the thing. Say, Congressman, aren't these the same people that were dancing in the streets and celebrating on 9/11? And see what they say. I mean, I would because I'm an ass, and I would ask them that and see how they dance around that. Yeah. Hey, John Kerry, with your wonderful plan, Lurch, aren't these the same people that were dancing in the streets celebrating the death of 3,000 Americans? So that's the people you want to bring into your house? How many people are going to be moving into John Kerry's neighborhood? None. We don't allow that. But seriously, this is what I want you to ask your congressman. You can do it via email or on the phone, whatever. If you can actually get them on the phone. You won't get them on the phone. You'll get their assistant, and they'll pass the message along to the congressman because they're busy. Why are Syrians fleeing their country? Question number 1. Why do we have thousands upon thousands of quote-unquote Syrian refugees fleeing their country? Who are they fleeing? Are there Jews and Christians and Buddhists and Confucianists? They're Hindu people, supporters of the Hindu faith are running around Syria and northern Iraq, and they're butchering these poor innocent people. Is that correct? Who is causing the Syrians to flee? Oh, that's a hard question. We don't want to actually address that. Why? It's terrorists. They're terrorists. It's a terrorist regime known as ISIL or ISIM or blah, blah, blah. It's like, you mean the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria? ISIS? So the Syrian people, these refugees, are fleeing from whom? Well, you may actually have to finish their sentence for them because they're all dishonest and disingenuous. So they're fleeing from Muslims that are trying to kill them and, Okay, so that's the answer to question number 1. Question number 2, why are Muslims not fleeing instead to neighboring countries? Neighboring Muslim countries that have lots and lots and lots of money, like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar. Why aren't these Syrian refugees fleeing? Why doesn't Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar open their borders and welcome in their fellow Muslims with open arms? Why in the world would they have to float across the Mediterranean and risk drowning when they have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Kuwait, Qatar, all those areas in the region? Why would they have to do that? That's strange. Ask them, why aren't the very, very wealthy Arabic countries? Jared, I'm looking at a map, and I know most people in the world don't understand how this works, but we have these things on planet Earth. All of you Earthicans, you can reference these things called maps. And so rather than getting on a boat and going all the way across the Mediterranean to Italy or Greece or wherever, or all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to the United States of America, they could just take a really super short trip south to Saudi Arabia. Why don't Jordan and Saudi Arabia open up a pipeline so that these poor people can get there? Why don't they go to Kuwait, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Yemen, Oman? Egypt's pretty close. Why don't they go down there to Egypt? Why don't they just, if they're going to get on boats, they could just hug the coast. They could just hug the western coast there, and bam, they could be in Egypt. They could settle them in the Sinai Peninsula. Why don't they do that? Oh, no. So ask your, why does Europe and the United States of America, why is it our responsibility? I mean, they're like, that's, and I love this. I love all of a sudden, Jared, when CNN pundits become biblical scholars, and they start, I heard this weekend. Some CNN pundit tried to quote the Bible as the reason we need to allow all of these Muslim death cult parasites to infect our nation. It's like, really? You're all of a sudden, you're going to, on CNN, you're going to quote the Bible? Where were you quoting the Bible when the Planned Parenthood nastiness was going on? Where are you quoting the Bible when the Sodomites are all trying to destroy natural marriage? People are Googling that right now. They're having to look that up. They're like, what did he just say? Yeah. I mean, what kind of an insane hypocrite do you have to be? And you're like, Paul, you claim to be a Christian. You should be feeding it. Yeah. Okay, folks, you need to use some logic here. Ask these questions. Why is it so important? Why can't, I mean, we're told that the faith of Islam is the religion of peace and brotherhood, right? So why aren't the other members of the religion of peace and brotherhood, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, why aren't they welcoming these people with open arms into their countries? Is that not a legitimate question? So, all right, let's just say, well, so your slippery, slimy congressman, they get through the first two questions and are like, get to question number 3. How does the State Department plan to screen these immigrants, these refugees? How do they plan to screen them for terrorist ties? Well, what makes you think they're terrorists? I don't know. What makes me think they're not terrorists or terrorist sympathizers? What makes me think that they're not that? Well, the fact that they're members of the death cult of Islam, could that be it? The fact that the Muslim street celebrates every time the great Satan is attacked? They think it's great. They hand out candy to children every time an American serviceman is murdered. They celebrate and have a party. So tell me how the State Department is going to screen them for terrorist ties. Oh, I know. Got it. J. Jonah Jameson from the Department of Homeland Security, Jared. What does J. Jonah Jameson do? Well, we can't keep them out, but we'll monitor them. Remember all the people that went on their little jihad vacation to Syria and came back, and they said, well, we just can't keep them out of the country, but don't worry, we're monitoring them. Kind of like they were monitoring the two knuckleheads, the two life partners that attacked the art show in Texas. Those guys were on the being monitored list. How does monitoring monsters and terrorists stop them from committing terrorism? Well, it doesn't, but then we know. Okay. Hey, Jared, the dude that went wacko and killed all the servicemen up in Tennessee, wasn't he on the list? He was on the list of...
yeah, they were monitoring.
They were monitoring him because he was communicating back and forth with little jihadis via the internets. Criminal history. Do you remember when you guys, most of you kids don't remember this. Fidel Castro did this wonderful thing. He opened up his prisons and all of his insane asylums, and he just pushed all those people out into the water and floated them across the Atlantic to Miami. So we, being idiots, because we were run by a Democrat at the time, just accept them all in. We accepted in thousands of lunatics and felons and criminals. Yeah, they just emptied their jails. Hey, send them all over to America. Those idiots will take them. How do we know that they just didn't empty all the Syrian prisons and push all these people out and say, go. Whoa. Oh, like that's not possible, right? That's not possible that rapists, murderers, felons, scumbags, pieces of human filth aren't all packed in with these refugees. So you want a Muslim rapist, a murderer, you want that dude, like you want him in a shelter across the street from your kid's school? Oh, come on, Paul. You don't know that's going to happen. No, I don't know that's going to happen. Last one, and this is like a part, A, B, and C of question number 3 is, are these people immunized? What is their shot records? Are they immunized against diseases? Are they bringing additional diseases that have been eradicated in the United States of America? Are they bringing those diseases into the United States? Can we be guaranteed that they're not? Are they not bringing in smallpox, measles, mumps, rubella, what have you? AIDS? AIDS is all over Africa. How do we know? What are we doing for medical screening? How are we going to medically screen these people? And if you're really feeling super froggy and you want to throw in a question number 4, ask, who is going to pay for all of this? Oh, well, we have tax money and programs and government programs. I thought we were broke. I thought we were a bajillion freaking dollars in debt. Oh, we'll just print more money. Maybe we could borrow more money from China. That's what we can do. We can borrow more money from China. Oh, folks, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Your nation is being set up for a hard fall. It's being set up for a hard fall. And while the nation is being set up, it's jab, 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 waiting for the cross. And while that's happening, all the cold and timid souls are sitting in their mom's basement in their Cheeto-stained beanbags, chirping online about thises and that's.
Cheeto-stained beanbags. I wonder how many people actually get that reference.
Tell her thank you. All right. Now, moving on. Frog Lube. It's green, it's minty, it's non-petroleum based, and it just works. Check it out at froglube.com. Century Arms, the sponsors of the C39. They're the sponsors of the C39 RPK. No, they're the makers of that, but they are the sponsors of the Student of the Gun mobile app. Yes, we have a mobile app, in case you didn't know. You can put the mobile app on your iPhone, iPad, iDevice, iWhatever, and you can also put it on your Android device. So there's that. The mobile app, sponsored by Century Arms. Brownells, brownells.com, and you can get Frog Lube at brownells.com, and you can also get Duracoat at brownells.com. If you're not checking out what you want to do with Brownells, go there and check out their new products section. They're always adding to that. Every single week they put new products up. So if nothing else, go to brownells.com and click on their new products section. And of course, we already mentioned Duracoat. We Duracoated the RPK. We put pictures of it up. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, well, that's the crazy thing about camouflage patterns, Jared. Every time you do a camouflage pattern, someone has to jump in and say, "Oh, I don't like it. I don't like the way that looks." Then don't put that on your gun. Maybe I'm missing something. Jared, did I put a picture up of that new gun and say, everyone in my audience has to Duracoat their guns in this exact manner?
No. But that's what it seems like.
I don't recall saying that. I don't recall saying that if you didn't Duracoat your gun and use this X camouflage pattern, I would no longer speak to you. I don't care. I don't care if you throw your gun in a puddle of salt water and leave it sitting there. It's your life. Live it like you want. Jared, you got our update theme? It's because I'm kind of itching, and I'm itching in my britchen over here. I'm itching in my britches.
Das geht an die Oma des letzten Propheten Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ich bin Allah so dankbar, ein Muslim sein zu dürfen. Das geht an die Oma, wir sind die Oma. Check das aus, Bismillah. Islam ist die Wahrheit. Say what? Wir folgen Mohammed.
Oh, that is, this is the only place that you're going to find DJ Mixmaster Jared's Religion of Peace update theme. If you don't love that, you need to just go away. If that doesn't make you smile, you're wrong, and you just need to go away. All right. Now, I know a lot of you out there in the Student of the Gun audience have reasonable friends. Oh, don't you? We all have reasonable friends. We all have moderate friends. I'm not an extremist like you. I'm a moderate. I consider all points of view, like good and evil. Next time someone says to you, I take in all points of view, I'm moderate, say so like you consider both good and evil. And see what they say. So sometimes you side with evil, and that's what you're telling me. Sometimes you side with good, and sometimes you side with evil. Okay, so now I know that you cannot be trusted. The reason I'm bringing this following segment up is because you are going to encounter, I know you are, as sure as God made little green apples, you are going to encounter an Aunt Susie or a coworker Phil or somebody in your life, and this topic of the Muslim parasites, the death cult parasites that they're trying to force feed into your community. They're going to say, oh, come on, these are just poor, oppressed people. Your ancestors were refugees. No, my ancestors were not. My ancestors were legal immigrants who came to the United States and became productive citizens and assimilated to the culture. That's what my ancestors were. My ancestors were not parasites. Just so you know. You might want to go ahead and write that down. Next time someone says to you, oh, your family, they were all refugees. They were all, I was like, no, they weren't. So let me give you an example of just how grateful the death cult parasites are. And you probably have seen this, but I'm going to go ahead just in case. And this story's been all over the place, but the source we have right here is freerepublic.com. Italian refugees protest against, quote, monotonous Italian food. A protest held by refugees. Yes, you heard that sentence right. A protest held by refugees against monotonous Italian food was, quote, excessive, especially at the time when thousands of Italians go hungry, the president of a police organization told the local news, The Local. For 2 days, a group of 40 asylum seekers staying in a refugee center in Veneto, province of Belluno, refused to eat the pasta with tomato sauce, bread, and egg meals they were given. Wow. To reinforce their point, they blocked a street with a workbench, put their food on the ground, and threatened to leave the center. They said, "We will not eat this stuff." Okay. All right, that right there is hurting my brain. Okay. So we have people that have no business being in your country, who you've, out of the kindness of your heart, have taken in. You give them your food, and they don't want to eat it. Have we ever... Now, aha! I know what you're saying. Jared, what are they saying? What is this? It's just an
isolated incident? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it would be. Yep. Because it doesn't... You know why it's an isolated incident? Because the refugees are not being accepted in a lot of places.
Yeah, so that's right. So what you're like, oh, that's okay, Paul. Oh, I'll give you that one. That's one incident in Italy. I mean, you can't show me another one. Okay, I will. Oh, crap, you just did it. Here we go. Headline: Refugees refusing aid because it has Red Cross on it. Yes. there are true refugees. I don't think they're all refugees. We shall see. Meanwhile, Muslim refugees where are we at? Oh, in Europe, are refusing Red Cross care packages because they have a Red Cross on them and they are not halal. Wow. And there's a story that accompanies that. And if you guys would like to listen to the story, read the story, watch the video, and so forth, you can do so because we have all the show notes linked here at studentofthegunradio.com. Did you know that? Jared, do you think they all knew that?
If they don't know that, they should now.
So
go to studentofthegunradio.com and you can get this show is, what is this, 243?
Episode 243, yeah. Yep.
Go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on 243. And if you listen to this and it's past, and this is already 50 episodes gone, then sorry.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But all right, here we go. You say, well, all right, I'll give you two. All right, I'll give you that other one. All right, so they won't eat the Italian food because they don't like it. Jared, do you remember a story? A little story that's been buried by 10 years worth of victimization. A little story about when Hurricane Katrina and how the Katrina refugees, the people that were fleeing Katrina, went to the free food centers and protested because they weren't given hot food. They just gave them MREs and sandwiches. Do you remember that? I remember that very vividly because it made me very angry.
Wow. I didn't know that actually happened.
Oh, yeah. They actually have video of a New Orleans resident standing at the counter for her free food, wanting to know, I don't want no sandwich. Don't you got something hot back there?
Wow.
I'm sorry that the free food I'm giving you is not good enough. What kind of a mentality are we fostering here? And when you give someone a genuine military MRE and they tell you, don't you have some hot food? Do you want to slap them? How many of you in the audience know exactly how you can turn an MRE into a hot meal? You guys don't understand that, right? If you don't, if you're a young crumb cruncher, you've never been in the military. Folks, when you get that little tan plastic bag, there's a heater in it. And you can make yourself a hot meal. Yes, you can. Really super simple. Well, no, hang on, Jared. I'm sorry. You have to be able to read and follow directions.
Oh, that would be the problem.
There you go. Or if you're like Super Dave, you could have the African parasites steal your MREs and eat the MRE heaters. Don't eat the MRE heaters. You can if you want. You're an American. You can do whatever you want. If you feel like tasting and eating an MRE heater, make sure you wash it down with lots of water. Okay. Oh, so you say, well, Paul, these are just two incidents in a whole world full of poor, downtrodden people that are they're just seeking a better life. They're just trying to get away from those who wish to destroy them and kill them and enslave them. You mean other Muslims? You guys remember a story that we reported to you way back in January of 2015, almost a year ago now. Not quite. This came to us from, it was reported in several different places, but the source we got here is Top Right News. It was on the local news media for a little bit until they quashed it because it made certain people look bad. Muslims on welfare demand that their free food meets Islamic requirements. And you say, well, what European country is this from, Paul? It's not from a European country. It's from Minnesota, eh? Whoever said beggars can't be choosers never met Somali Muslim refugees in Minnesota. These Muslims these Muslim imports in Minnesota are now demanding that their that they receive taxpayer-funded halal non-pork meals from the free food pantry. That's right. Not only do we want it free, but we're going to tell you how it can be made, what it should be made of. I got an idea. You want food? Go out and get a freaking job and buy yourself some food. You want me and all of my fellow taxpayers and business owners to pay to feed you, and you're going to complain about the food that you are given. Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, this is not going to get better until the adults take over. As long as you have Lurch and Comrade Barry and all these other lunatics making the rules, setting your nation up for the fall, it's not going to change. It's insanity. The world is upside down. The people that are paying the bills are being asked to apologize. Yes, the productive people that are actually paying for all of this nonsense are being told to apologize for their hateful and bigoted behavior and to just shut up and give us more money. Yeah. So if you want to call your congressman, it's real simple. Take your smartphone, your Android phone, your iPhone, take your laptop and type in house.gov. Click on the representatives. It's going to take you directly to their phone number or their email address. And ask them 3 questions. Number 1, why are Syrians fleeing their country? What's going on? What's the problem? Number 2, why are Muslims not fleeing to wealthy Muslim countries? Why do they have to cross an entire ocean when their neighbors are right there? Number 3, if I said that last one was number 3, I apologize. 1, 2, this is number 3. How does the State Department, the United States State Department, plan to screen these people for terrorist ties, criminal history, and immunizations or diseases? Or are they just going to release them upon the communities and say, good luck with that. Have a nice time. And if you're feeling froggy, number 4, who's paying for all of this? Who do you suppose pays for all the free food up there in Minnesota? It's not the Somali immigrants. All right. Well, that's it, folks. That is it. Now, we promised you a special guest. Our special guest is up in Alaska preparing for a moose hunt, so we couldn't get him on today. We will try to get him on tomorrow to talk about moose hunting and rifles and treasure hunting and all kinds of crazy stuff. So be sure that you tune in. Until then, thank you very much. Oh, Jared, by the time they hear this, the new blog will be up. The Cold and Timid Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. If you're not subscribed to the Student of the Gun blog, you should do that because then you get notified immediately when a new article goes up. But just in case, pay attention to everything else. If you haven't subscribed to the free broadcast, just go on to studentofthegun.com, put in your first name, your email address, and confirm it. If you haven't done that, I don't even know what else to do for you. I mean, it costs you nothing, and you get to watch 7 videos that could help you save your own life. There's that for free. And that's all the free stuff I'm going to give you today. All right. Remember, you are a beginner once, but you should indeed be a what? A student for life.